Fox News Rising Time is now 8:33. For some couples, going to work gives them, honestly, a break from their spouse. But imagine your spouse also being your coworker. Doug and Polly White of the Whitestone Partners Management Firm make it work, and they're here with some insight on husband-wife work partnerships. Good morning, guys.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Now, before I go anywhere else, I want to know, how long have the two of you successfully worked together?
Well, we started Whitestone Partners, our management consulting firm, about 2.5 years ago.
Right. We had worked apart for several years, in different states. Doug was running companies up in the Northeast in Philadelphia and Boston, and we wanted to come back together, so we started Whitestone Partners.
Now, has there ever been a point where one of you, be honest, just kind of thought to yourself, man, something might need to change a little bit if this is going to work for a long time?
Well, I don't really think so. We actually enjoy working together and being together 24/7. That was the whole point of starting the company, was so that we could work closely together.
You know, occasionally one of us will say, you know what, I need a little bit of me time, but that means an hour or two, and then we're ready to be back together.
Right.
So what do you think are the keys to a husband and wife team working together when it comes to their career? Because one thing we're seeing is a lot of people, due to the economy, are starting businesses right now.
Well, yes, and the first thing I think is that you need to have complementary skill sets. So for instance, Doug is really great at strategy, operations, finance, the number kind of things, and that really helps our business.
And Polly's expertise is people management and human resources. So we jokingly say that you take the two of us together, you almost get a complete executive.
Okay,
Yeah,
nice.
it works really well.
So what about I would think one thing that might happen, especially if you're running a business together, is one of you has set their kind of, height. They're thinking we're going to go to these soaring heights, and the other is a little more of a realist. How do you kind of balance that out?
Well, that's actually a great setup, because one of the things we say is you've got to have similar ambition factors.
Yes, the ambition factor for us is how hard you are willing to work towards a goal, how many hours, how much you're willing to sacrifice to get to something. And it's not that everybody has to have this huge driving level of ambition, but you have to be similarly matched.
Okay.
So that you're working the same amount of hours.
Otherwise, one partner starts to resent the other, and resentment builds up because I'm doing all the work and he's not. So we think that the ambition factor being matched is really critical.
Now, what if, say, there's someone else involved, and say that the two of you are running this company, and there's either another relative or another partner involved? Does that kind of throw a little wrench into the dynamic at all?
I think it really could. Now, we do have an employee, and we have split up duties. Now, we'll both give Ryan things to do. That's our administrative assistant. But being the human resources person, I've taken on the task of managing Ryan directly, so I give him all of his feedback.
That's right, but one of the things we also tell people is be careful about hiring friends and family.
Oh, yes.
We've seen way too many small businesses that when it comes time to hire, they simply go out and hire friends and family. In doing the research for our book, Let Go to Grow, Why Some Businesses Thrive and Others Fail to Reach Their Potential, we talked with more than 100 small and mid-sized businesses.
And a lot of them did go out and just hire friends and family. In fact, we knew this woman who actually had to fire her sister twice. So she hired her, realized this was a big mistake, fired her, but there was such a family uproar that she hired her back. And then within just a few days, she said, okay, now I remember why this didn't work the first time, and fired her again.
Now, you mentioned the book. For the two of you, was that one of the tougher things that you've worked on together? Where would you rank it?
Oh, yes, it was a long project. So this took about a year to do all the research and all the writing. And Doug and I actually work a little differently when it comes to writing.
Well, we do. I will sit down and write, and I can be very methodical and very organized and do that. Polly needs a bit of a muse.
Yes, I have to be in the right mood to write. And so there was a little give and take. I had to really force myself into the project to keep up with him. But then sometimes that's what a business partner is good for, because they push you in the right direction.
Well, the book is Let Go to Grow. Polly, Doug White, thank you so much for the time and for the insight this morning.
Thank you.
Thank you for having us.